The Undertaker just commented on the possibility of a Bray Wyatt WWE return. We'll also see the latest on some Roman Reigns related topics, Carmella, and more. Let's start things off with a few topics surrounding Carmella. A fun fact about a WrestleMania mask: it was made by someone that a lot of WWE fans are familiar with, and that's Jason Baker, creator of the Fiend's mask and all the other Firefly Funhouse props. Jason took to Twitter to make the reveal about the creation of the mask and also revealed that he got a lot of help from Corey Graves' son while making it as well. As far as a WWE update on Carmella, she is officially now split from Zelina Vega. The cracks have been building up for a long time. The story was that Zelina was the proud fighting champion, but that Carmella had a few responsibilities that she cared for more than her championship title. Follow those issues up with the fact that they now lost the tag team titles, and you'll get what we saw on Raw, which was their split. It would appear that Zelina Vega is now the babyface and Carmella will be remaining as a heel. What's interesting about Carmella's story now going forward will be Corey Graves. WWE is now acknowledging their real-life relationship on screen, and they also had that mini reality series that WWE is continuing to promote as well. So, do we see Corey start to take a bigger part in the show through Carmella? That's something that the fans have been discussing for the last few weeks. It also came out that Corey Graves has been cleared for an all-in-ring activity. Corey was once a quick and up-and-coming star on NXT, but was forced into early retirement due to serious injuries. But it's been reported that he's been fully cleared for all physical activity. Corey says that he has no real desire to return to the ring at the moment, but then joked around about being interested to compete in a mixed tag team match with his wife, Carmella. Corey name-dropped The Miz and Maurice as possible opponents for them someday down the line. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that situation and if that match actually happens sometime in the future. It's a forgotten feud by many fans, but The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt actually crossed paths and feuded with each other back in 2014 at WrestleMania 31. Bray Wyatt was still pretty new to the main roster at the time, but was already getting comparisons to The Undertaker. WWE decided to pull the trigger on that feud for WrestleMania 31. Only strange part was that The Undertaker wasn't around at all for the build-up. It was Bray Wyatt who single-handedly had the responsibility of building up that story and making fans care about this WrestleMania match. Undertaker was just coming off his shocking WrestleMania loss as well, so there was a lot of little elements like that surrounding this WrestleMania matchup. But Bray did his thing and built the story literally by himself. The Undertaker would end up defeating Bray Wyatt in their only singles match in WWE. The Undertaker and Bray Wyatt did interact a few more times after Bray called out the Wyatt family to take out The Undertaker. So Taker is very familiar with Bray's work and has been in the ring with him face to face. The topic of Bray Wyatt recently came out during The Undertaker's WrestleMania panel. Undertaker had this to say in regards to Bray Wyatt's talents and hoping to see him back in WWE one day. He had this to say, quote, "I hope things get worked out with him somewhere. He is a phenomenal talent, and I think he has a lot to offer this industry. So, I want to wish the best for him. Hopefully, at some point, he comes home." End quote. Undertaker obviously referring to WWE as Bray's home. So, Undertaker isn't the decision-making chairman of WWE, but he still is a pretty huge endorsement to get for Bray Wyatt. You have arguably one of WWE's biggest superstars of all time pushing and hoping to see you return to WWE one day and talking about how much talent you have. So it means a lot. And the current situation with Cody Rhodes' WWE return has given fans hope that truly anyone can return to WWE no matter what. Look at everything Cody Rhodes has said and done over the last 3 years, and it's still pretty surreal to believe that he's a member of the WWE roster again. Everyone knows that Bray and WWE didn't end things on the smoothest of terms. Although Bray's release was classified as budget cuts, no one truly believes that for 1 second. The more believable story and the rumor out there was that Bray Wyatt was bumping heads too much and too often, involving the creative side to his character and booking. And who can really blame him? The Fiend got off to such a great start, only to almost be destroyed just 2 months after his debut with the chaotic mess of Hell in a Cell 2019 that had fans chanting for refunds as they left the venue. Bray finally got the title and got back on track, only to be immensely knocked off track again by Goldberg. Then, Braun and Bray had a great storyline going, but once Roman Reigns came back, it was like that Toy Story meme. WWE put the old toy down for their new shiny toy, which was the returning Roman Reigns. So Roman came back and Bray really got put on the back burner. His only main feud after Roman's return was his long story with Randy Orton. The Randy Orton story started off great considering all the history they had between the two of them, but after the burning of the Fiend, things started to get a bit shaky until it once again flew off the tracks for the final time with the inexplainable finish to the Fiend and Orton's match at WrestleMania. We've been over this now thousands of times, but even till this day a year later, Alexa's spending so much time and effort on bringing the Fiend back only to turn on him the first match back doesn't make any sense. This was probably the same arguments Bray was putting up, and as a result of him caring deeply about his story and character, he was cut. So it's unfortunate the way things ended there, but like Undertaker said, hopefully everything gets fixed up in the future. There's been a lot of discussions about the WrestleMania main event and if that truly was the entire match, or was it cut short. Originally, fans criticized the match for being short and ending so suddenly on a sort of anticlimactic note. But then the next day, it was reported that Roman and Brock were both banged up doing the match. So maybe that's why it was cut short, and fans were more understanding after hearing that news. But now, a few weeks later, and the topic is still in the headlines. Reports now claim that the WrestleMania main event wasn't cut short at all for any reasons. That was the entire scheduled match. They claim that this is just how Brock Lesnar's matches are booked now, and how they'll continue to be booked for the future. There's also an update for Roman Reigns' schedule and why he may not be appearing on Raw every week. With Roman winning Raw's WWE title at WrestleMania, the fans' assumption was that he'll basically be appearing on both shows weekly. Well, reports claim that WWE is still working that out. Roman may not appear on Raw every week, but maybe every other week or every few weeks just to lighten his schedule. Appearing on both shows and all of the weekend live events is a lot for someone's schedule. So maybe that's why we won't see Roman on every single Raw. But that's apparently what's being worked on right now. Roman's schedule and how they will handle him technically being Raw's champion as well. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.